Howdy y'all, Stock Warden here, back with another video. Today we're looking at Archer Aviation and their Q1 results for their finances, and also to kind of go and look at a lot of their new price targets because of their Q1, and also to be able to see and show the complete turnaround that this stock seems to be making over the past 6 weeks. So, as it stands right now, Archer's shares are somewhat kind of falling flat on the day today, but right now you still have a lot of people looking over the Q1 results and trying to make a little bit more of a definitive decision on where they want to go, because they did beat out a lot of odds and they did exceed expectations in a large number of different directions, but the stock is still a little bit lower than what they have previously been holding on to. So we'll get a little bit more into detail with all of that. So right now, Archer posted its first quarter revenue of 1.6 million versus a street view of roughly 900,000. So, but with that, they had a reported loss of 28 cents a share versus their expectation for a loss of 32 cents a share. So they have come up on top on both of those, which is actually a tremendous holding point to be able to go from 900,000 and almost doubling their expected revenue. That, and then also having a 30% increase in what they had originally believed the loss per share was going to end up being, is also a really attractive statement and standpoint as well. So management also pointed to record FAA certification progress and reiterated plans for U.S. operations in this year, including expected participation in this year's White House eVTOL integration pilot program, with 8 states in the initial launch. Archer also highlighted expanded piloted flight testing and early operating site work at Hawthorne Airport in LA. So that's sharpening the execution, getting deeper into trade for 2026. So Archer ended the first quarter with about $1.8 billion in liquidity and guided to a second quarter adjusted EBITDA loss of 170 million to approximately 200 million. So they're keeping their focus on funding runway as certification work continues. So some of the critical levels that we can look and watch for in this Archer stock is, from a trend perspective, the stock is trading almost 9% above its 20-day average. So then it's 10% up above its 50-day average, which supports the idea that the recent rebound is still intact. So the bigger picture repair is unfinished though, with shares still trading 5% below the 100-day average and over 20% below the 200-day average. So, but momentum is slowly improving. So it's coming up above the signal line, and the histogram is staying positive, which typically means downside pressure is easing and the rebound has a better follow-through potential. So with that being said, the longer term, death cross on the moving averages, that it kind of goes all the way back into December of 25, it's still somewhat showing a headwind, so hopefully the price will be able to reclaim longer moving averages and also to continue that more consistently. So with the stock right now, I would say that the key support for the bottom end of this stock for a rebound is going to be right around $6 a share. So we've had quite a few stocks stay within this realm. So it's definitely not something to say that they're too far out on to be able to rebound off, since they've had I would say a slight breakthrough since they've stayed roughly in this area in trending for the past couple of weeks. So then for a tall marker, I would more likely go back and, kind of jump up a little higher and say their top resistance line is going to be on the 750 marker. So we're just going to come practically all the way up to the top where we previously were back on March 2nd. So we'll just continue this line across here. So given that is a large gap, but it doesn't take long, as you can see, to be able to go from down to up, and they have plenty of momentum continuing through in this stage. So sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here. So there we go. Okay, so back into all of this. So with Archer Aviation continuing the northward trend, they are able to stay on everything to be able to presumably stay on course to look like they're going to continue to come up and touch this $7.50 a share marker. So, and with all of that, we can also kind of look at some of the price targets that they have out now. So now they have a Concord Genuity. They are stating that Archer is a buy, and even though they're saying that it's a buy, they're lowering the price target from $13 to $12 a share. So, which is still at this point in time practically double. So you're looking at 100% profit just onto that one price target as it stands. So that, and then they also have a few other price targets that are all within the $11 to $15 a share range. So the stock is still looking very attractive. It is still continuing to push forward and also be able to continue innovating, getting more and more closer to full FAA certification. So they are definitely a stock and a company to stand behind and actually look out for in the near future in the direction that they are currently trending. So that is everything that I have on Archer Aviation. So if y'all made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. If you don't mind, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any other stocks that you hold in your portfolio, or you want to know a little bit more about a specific company on a stock that you might be looking into buying or purchasing to add into your portfolio, then drop that down in the comments below. I'd love to be able to jump onto a new stock and bring it out to the rest of the community here on YouTube. So, with all that being said, this is the Stock Warden, riding off. See y'all come back now, you hear?